Hey Cancer, I just pulled some cards for you about this whole rekindling passion situation, and honestly, the energy I am getting is absolutely fascinating. I had to sit with these cards for a moment because what they are showing me is not what I initially expected, but it makes so much sense when you really dive deep into it. So I am shuffling the deck and asking specifically about Cancer and this passion that is rekindling an old flame. And the first card that practically jumped out at me is the Four of Swords. Now you might be thinking, wait, that does not sound like passion at all, but hear me out, because this card is telling such an important story about your situation right now. The Four of Swords is showing me that this rekindling is not happening in the way most people think passion reignites. This is not some dramatic, explosive moment where suddenly everything is on fire again. Instead, what I am seeing is that your passion is rekindling through a period of deep contemplation and mental rest. You have been in this space of really thinking about what truly matters to you, and in that quiet space, that is where the old flame is starting to glow again. I keep getting this image of someone lying in meditation or deep thought, and in that stillness, they are remembering something beautiful they had forgotten. That is what is happening with you, Cancer. Your passion is not rekindling because of external drama or someone coming back into your life in some big gesture. It is rekindling because you are finally giving yourself the mental space to remember why you cared so deeply in the first place. This Four of Swords is also telling me that you have been through some kind of mental or emotional battle recently. Maybe you convinced yourself that this old flame was not worth thinking about anymore, or maybe other people told you to just move on and forget about it. But now, in this period of rest and reflection, you are realizing that some flames are worth rekindling, not because they burn the same way they used to, but because they can burn better with the wisdom you have gained. What really strikes me about this card is the energy of conscious choice. You are not falling back into old patterns unconsciously. You are making a very deliberate decision to explore this passion again, but from a much more mature and grounded place. The Four of Swords suggests that you are approaching this with strategy and thoughtfulness rather than just pure emotion. Let me pull another card to see what else is coming through about this situation. The next card I am getting is the Knight of Cups, and this is where things get really interesting, because now we are seeing the emotional movement that comes after that period of contemplation. The Knight of Cups is showing me that there is definitely movement happening around this old flame, but it is movement with intention and grace. This knight is not rushing in like the Knight of Wands would. He is approaching with emotional intelligence and romantic idealism, but also with a sense of purpose. I feel like this represents either you or the other person involved in this situation taking some kind of action, but doing it in a way that honors both the past and the present. And what I love about getting the Knight of Cups after the Four of Swords is that it shows this beautiful progression. First, you had the quiet contemplation, and now you have the inspired action. But this is not reckless action. The Knight of Cups moves with emotional wisdom. He understands that matters of the heart require sensitivity and timing. I am getting the sense that this rekindling is happening through communication right now. Maybe you are writing letters you have not sent yet, or maybe you are having conversations in your head about what you would say if you had the chance. The Knight of Cups often brings messages and emotional offerings, so there might be some kind of communication coming that will fan this flame into something more visible. But what really catches my attention about this knight is that he represents the dream aspect of love and passion. This suggests that the rekindling is happening first on an internal level through dreams, fantasies, and emotional processing before it manifests in the external world. You might be having dreams about this person or situation, or finding yourself daydreaming about possibilities in a way that feels both nostalgic and hopeful. The third card that came forward is Eight of Pentacles, and this absolutely confirms what I was sensing about the intentional, mature approach to this rekindling. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of mastery and dedication. and it tells me that you are not just hoping this old flame will magically reignite on its own, you are willing to do the work. This card suggests that rekindling this passion is going to require skill, patience, and consistent effort. Just like the craftsman in the Eight of Pentacles who perfects his trade through dedication, you are understanding that rekindling an old flame in a healthy way requires you to have learned from your past experiences and to approach it with newfound skills and wisdom. I am seeing that you have been working on yourself, Cancer. Maybe you have been in therapy or doing personal development work or just growing through life experiences, and now you feel like you have the tools to handle this connection in a way you could not before. The Eight of Pentacles suggests that you are approaching this rekindling as a craft that requires attention to detail and commitment to excellence. What strikes me most about this card in your reading is that it shows you are not trying to recreate exactly what you had before. Instead, you are using your past experience as the foundation, but you are building something new and improved. Like a craftsman who learns from each piece they create, you are taking the lessons from your previous connection and using them to create something even more beautiful and lasting. The Eight of Pentacles also suggests that this rekindling might involve learning new skills or ways of communicating or connecting. Maybe you are reading books about relationships or learning better ways to express your emotions or developing patience and emotional regulation skills that will serve this connection better than anything you had before. Now, the fourth card I pulled is absolutely fascinating, and it is the Hermit. And this tells me so much about the deeper spiritual dimension of what is happening with this rekindling situation. The Hermit is not just about being alone. In your reading, it represents the wisdom you have gained through your journey of self-discovery, and how that wisdom is now illuminating the path forward with this old flame. You have been on this inner journey, Cancer, and in that journey, you have discovered truths about yourself and about love that you did not have access to before. What I find so beautiful about the Hermit appearing in this reading is that it suggests the rekindling is happening because you are now able to see this person and this connection with the light of wisdom rather than just the heat of passion. You can see things about this situation now that you could not see before. Maybe you can see why it did not work out the first time, but also why it might work beautifully now. Maybe you can see patterns that you want to change, or strengths that you want to build upon. The Hermit also suggests that this rekindling is part of your spiritual path. This is not just about romance or passion for the sake of it. This connection serves your highest good and your personal growth in some important way. You are being drawn back to this flame not because you are going backwards, but because you are ready to integrate this experience into your evolved self. I am getting strong guidance energy from the Hermit, which tells me that you might actually be in a position to guide or teach something in this rekindling situation. Maybe you have learned things about love and relationships that you can share with this person, or maybe your wisdom and maturity is what will make this connection possible in a new way. The lantern that the Hermit carries represents the light you are bringing to this situation. You are not stumbling around in the dark hoping things will work out. You are moving forward with consciousness and intention, illuminating the path for both yourself and potentially for this other person as well. Let me pull one more card to see what the outcome energy looks like, and I am getting the Three of Cups, which is such a beautiful confirmation of everything we have been talking about. The Three of Cups traditionally represents celebration, friendship, and community. But in the context of your rekindling passion reading, it is showing me something really special. This card suggests that the rekindling of your old flame is going to create joy not just for you, but for the people around you as well. I feel like this Three of Cups is telling me that when this passion reignites, it is going to feel like a celebration. Not necessarily a party, but more like that feeling when something that was meant to be finally falls into place, and everyone who cares about you can see how right it is. There is this sense of communal joy and support around this connection. What really strikes me about getting the Three of Cups as the final card is that it suggests this rekindling is going to enhance your connection to your community and your friendships rather than isolating you or creating drama. Sometimes when old flames reignite, it can create tension with friends who remember the past situation, but this card suggests the opposite. Your friends and family are going to see how much you have grown and how different this connection is now, and they are going to be genuinely happy for you. The Three of Cups also represents emotional fulfillment through connection, and it tells me that this rekindling is going to satisfy some deep emotional need for community and belonging. Maybe this person was always meant to be part of your chosen family in some way, and now you both have the maturity and wisdom to make that happen in a healthy way. I am also getting the sense that this rekindling might involve reconnecting with a whole group of people or a community that you were part of before. Maybe this person was connected to friends or activities or places that you have been missing, and rekindling this flame opens the door to reconnecting with that entire world in a new way. The cups in this card are raised in celebration, which tells me that there is going to be a moment of real recognition and joy around this rekindling. A moment where you realize that taking the time to do the inner work and approach this connection with wisdom and maturity has created something genuinely worth celebrating. What I love most about this Three of Cups energy is that it feels sustainable. This is not the kind of passionate flame that burns bright and fast and then burns out. This feels like the kind of joy and connection that can be maintained over time because it is built on a foundation of friendship, mutual respect, and genuine care for each other's well-being and growth. So, Cancer, when I look at all these cards together, the story they are telling about your passion rekindling an old flame is absolutely beautiful. You started with the Four of Swords, which showed you taking the time for deep contemplation and mental rest around this situation. Then the Knight of Cups showed the gentle, emotionally intelligent movement toward reconnection. The Eight of Pentacles revealed your commitment to doing this right and bringing all your new skills and wisdom to the situation. The Hermit showed how your inner journey and spiritual growth has prepared you for this rekindling in a way that serves your highest good. And finally, the Three of Cups promised that this rekindling will bring joy not just to you but to your entire community. This is not about going backwards, Cancer. This is about taking everything beautiful from your past and combining it with everything wise from your present to create something even more beautiful in your future. Your passion is rekindling an old flame, but the flame that emerges is going to burn brighter and steadier than anything you have experienced before, because it is fueled by wisdom, love, and genuine care, rather than just intensity and longing. The cards are telling me that this is your time to trust the process, trust your growth, and trust that some connections are worth revisiting when you have the tools to honor them properly. Your old flame is ready to become a new light in your life, and you are absolutely ready to tend that flame with all the skill and devotion it deserves.